So in the last lecture, we have started how to construct the pavements. What are the different steps that are to be carried out to construct the pavement? For construction of each and every layer, there are several steps to be carried out as per the IRC. What are the steps that we have seen for the sub-base layer, subgrade layer, okay, base layer, and we have completed mix macadam. Now we will start with the WBM. Okay, that is we have covered in the last lecture. Okay, so we will start now our today's lecture. So before starting, we will briefly introduce what we have covered in the last lecture. So we have seen the stepwise procedure to form a sub-base layer, subgrade layer, base layer. Okay, how to go with the step by steps. First, for the preparation of the subgrade, what we have sub-base, what we have to do, we have to first clear the ground. Okay, then I have to apply the soil very firmly up to the required depth. Then what we have to do, we have to go for the compaction. Okay, then what we have to go for the proper compaction so that the proper dry density of that road should be maintained. Also, we have checked at various the given specification of the IRC, checks for the calculating the optimum moisture contents, checks for the calculating the dry density of the road. Okay, for the different particular interval, we have to calculate that. Then after applying the soil, we have to go for the compaction and have to apply the desired thickness of the road as well as desired optimum moisture content, also desired dry density of that road, whatever that we have we required. Okay, that we have to arrange. Then we have to apply the sub-base layer, that is the aggregates. Okay, and after that applying the aggregate, what we have to do, we have to go with the proper compaction. After the filling the aggregate, we have to go for the proper compaction. Okay. Then that we have covered in the last lecture. Also, we have seen some quality parameters that we need to maintain during the construction of the road. Okay, the quality parameters that also we need to maintain during the construction. That what are these quality parameters, up to the what thickness we need to go for, up to the what optimum moisture content that we need to go for, up to what the dry density should be maintained. Okay, how the undulations of the road, up to how much size the undulations are permissible. Okay, that limits also we have seen. Okay, then each test for the optimum moisture content should be carried out within the 100 square meter. Means what? In the 100 square meter, we should have to carry out at least one optimum moisture content test. And in the 200 meter square of the area, we need to calculate at least one optimum dry density test. Okay. So that we have seen in the last lecture. So in the construction of the granular base course, we have seen the wet mix macadam. Okay, we have completed that. After here, we have completed in the last lecture. Now we will see the construction of the waterborne macadam, WBM basis. Okay, so we will see how to construct the waterborne macadam, then how to construct the flexible layer, how to place it. Then we will see for the rigid pavements. Okay, in this lecture. So in the waterborne macadam base, it is named by the because this is carried out by the John Macadam, so his name is given to this method, that is waterborne macadam. The term macadam is the present day means the pavement based course made of the crushed and the broken aggregate mechanically interlocking by the rolling, and voids are filled with the screening and bleeding material with the assistance of the water. Okay, what is in the macadam? Macadam is nothing but what? To applying the broken stones, okay, or the crushed stones that we need to apply with the proper sizes. Okay, and then what we have to do? We have to fill the interlocking materials. So the interlocking property of that rock should, whatever the broken aggregates are there, the interlocking property should be good of that material. Then the screening and the binding particles we will add with the, like the small sands, etc. Okay, that we will add, will go for the compaction of that layer. Okay, the water bond macadam may be used as a sub base course, or even the surfacing course for the low volume rock. Okay, waterborne macadam we will construct by using the waterborne macadam. We will construct sub-base course as well as base course. Or in the low volume road, we can also go for the surface course also. Okay, because in the low volume road, we will use the surface course as well by the waterborne macadam here. Okay. Then the thickness of the each compacted layer of the waterborne macadam is depends on the size and the gradation of the aggregate that are used. Okay, whatever the broken stones that we are using for the construction of the road, depending on the size of that aggregates that we have used, we are grading the aggregates. Okay, for that typical type of the grades, how much thickness is to be designed, it depends. Okay, means what the thickness, whatever we are going to give the thickness for the waterborne macadam layer, it depends on the size of aggregate that we have used and the grading of that aggregate. Okay. The number of layers of the total thickness of the waterborne macadam construction depends on the design details of the pyramids. Okay, how much layers to be constructed? It depends on the design details. Okay, if there is a low volume road, we will go for the less thickness. If it is a high volume road, we'll go for the more thickness. So as the thickness increases, we have to go for the number of layers. Okay, so as we compact the low thickness layer, so the compaction effect will be more. Okay, so we will go with the lesser thickness for the compaction. Then what are the construction steps? What now we will see the construction steps. The foundation for receiving the raw new layer of the waterborne macadam may be either the subgrade or the subbase or the base course. Okay, we can apply the waterborne macadam layer on the subbase. We can apply it on the base course. We can apply on the subgrade course as well. Okay, on this any of this layer, we can apply the waterborne macadam layer. This layer is prepared by scarifying and filling the depressions and the patching the potholes. Okay, and the receiving the surface is brought to the required grade of the camber. Okay, whatever the depressions or the patch that are introduced on the road, okay, whatever the patches are there, whatever the potholes are there, we are filling that patches, okay, by using the waterborne macadam, as well as we maintain the required camber for drain out the water. Okay. The dust and the other loose materials are to be cleaned. It is very essential. First step is dust to be cleaned. Lateral confining is done to providing the before starting the waterborne construction. Lateral confining that we need to give for the road means how much area is to be constructed. Okay, lateral confining should be given so that within that area only we will apply the material. This may be done by the constructing the shoulders. We can construct the shoulder first, then we can apply the material. As we construct the shoulder, the lateral confining will be there. So the coarse aggregate are spread uniformly to proper profile to uniform thickness upon the prepared foundation checked by the templates. Okay. Then what we will do, we will apply the lateral constraint to the road up to the desired width of the road. Then what we will do, we will apply the aggregates together. Okay, then we will go for the compaction in the next step. The layer is compacted by the three-wheeler power roller of the 8 to 10 tons. Okay, what we will do then, go for the compaction with the wheeled compactor, which weighs 8 to 10 tons capacity. Okay. Then what is the step next is the compaction. Okay, compaction is done by the vibrator roller we can use. We can use the wheel roller. Okay, that is the pneumatic roller we can use. By the using the, but its capacity should be 8 to 10 tons. 8 to 10 capacity roller should be used for the compaction. Then if required while compacting the layer, we can use the water. Okay, while compacting, you can sprinkle the water on the road so that the whatever the optimum moisture content is there, it is achieved. Okay, to achieve the optimum moisture content, we can apply the water or we can sprinkle the water while doing the compaction so that the compaction density is also achieved as well as the optimum moisture content is also achieved. So that the capacity of taking the load of that layer will be ultimately rise. After the coarse aggregate are rolled adequately, the dry screening are applied gradually over the surface to fill the interstices in the three or more applications. Dry rolling and continues as the screening are being sprayed and the brooming is carried out. Okay, what then we have to do after the compaction? You might have seen the while during construction of the road. After the applying the porous aggregates, what they will do? They will go for the compaction by using the rollers. Then after the compaction, what they will do? They will apply the fine aggregates into that. Okay, to achieve the to fill the voids. Okay, then we will apply the fine aggregates as a screening material into that to fill the voids. Okay, then after that, by using the broom, we can clean the area or brooming is carried out after that. After the application of the screening, screening is what? The application of the fine aggregates into that so that the voids should be filled, the gaps should be filled between the aggregate as well as the interlocking between them is achieved. The surface is sprinkled with the water, swept and rolled. Wet screening are swept into the voids using the hand brooms. We can use the hand brooms for the cleaning. Additional screenings are applied and the roll till the pores aggregate are well bonded and the firmly set. Okay. By applying the screening, by applying the water, by applying the compaction, we should have to achieve the proper bonding between the aggregates and proper compaction. Okay. So final, our motto is what? To apply the proper compaction to that layer as well as proper bonding should be there between that layer. So that purpose we will apply the screening material as well as we apply the water to have the proper bonding and proper compaction. Okay. Then the next step, the binding material is applied to at the uniform and the slow rate at two or more successive thin layers. After each application of the binding material, the surface is copiously sprinkled with the water, wet slurry swept with the brooms to be filled the voids. This is followed by the rolling of 8 to 10 tons roller and the water is applied to the wheels to wash down the binding material that sticks to the roller. Then after the applying the materials, what we have to do? We have to apply the binding material. Binding material here we can use asphalt, we can use tar, we can use bitumen. Okay, the bitumen is mostly used as the binding material here. We apply the binding material so that the proper binding between the aggregates, between the screens should be there. Okay, and after applying the binding material, it should be applied with the 2 or 3 layers. We can go with the compaction of 2 or 3 layers with the 8 to 10 turns of the roller. Okay. Then whatever the slurry, wet slurry will be there, dry uh, uh, by applying the sprinkle water, whatever the wet slurry is there, we can dry it by the brooms. Okay. After the final compaction, the layer is allowed to dry overnight. On the next day, the hungry spots are located and are filled with the screening or the binding material. Lightly sprinkled with the water if necessary or rolled. No traffic is allowed till the WBM layer is set and dried up. Okay. After the applying the final compaction, means whatever the desired thickness it is there that we have achieved now. Okay. After that, achieving that desired thickness, after the final compaction of the final layer, what we have to do, we have to keep that rod for the drying purpose for at least 1 night. Okay. And then only after the drying, we can allow the traffic on that. But before allowing traffic, we should have to check whether the hungry spots means what? Like a honeycomb structure. Honeycomb structure, whether it is formed on the road, whether the the level of the road is maintained, longitudinal as well as the transverse slope it is maintained. All the checks should be carried out. Then and then only the traffic is allowed. Otherwise, traffic is not allowed on that road up till the total drying. After the WBM layer is fully dry, steps are taken to lay the next layer in the case of WBM surface course of the road is often to the traffic. Okay. After that, what we have the, if it is the heavy loaded traffic road, then we will go for the next layer. If it is low volume road, then that road is ready for the opening for the traffic. Okay. If it is a low volume road, we will take it as a final course or the final surface layer and we will allow the traffic on that road. Okay. If it is not low volume, it is high volume road, then we'll go for the next layer, that is surface layer. Okay. And the quality parameters that are same. We have to conduct the different tests. Los Angeles abrasion value test, aggregate impact value, factoriness index test should be conducted on the course aggregate at the rate of the test 200 meters square. Okay, means what? At each and every 200 meters square area, the aggregate impact value test, flackness index test, abrasion value test, likewise, all the tests should be carried out. Okay, at each and every 200 meters square area to find out whether the quality of that road it is maintained or not. Then the gradient of the cross aggregate and the screening has to be checked at the rate of the 1 test per 100 cubic meter. Okay, then whatever the grade that is defined as earlier, whether that grade is maintained on that road or not. We have to take the check for the each and every 100 meter cube of volume of sample. Okay, we have to check the grading of the sample that is used on the site. Then the surface should be leveled and compacted well, and allowance tolerance is the plus or minus 15 mm. Okay, whatever the level surface it is to be maintained, or tolerance of the plus or minus 15 mm is allowed for the surface there. Okay, so this is the way or method to check the WBM road, how to construct the WBM road, stepwise procedure, then the quality control checks on the WBM road. That is waterborne macadam. Then now you will see the top last layer, that is the bituminous layer. Okay, the general approach for the construction of the bituminous pavement layer. What are the general approach? First is the preparation before the construction of the bitumen over the granular base layer. Okay, if it is the granular base layer and if it is the bituminous layer. Okay, we will see now for the both surfaces. If we are laying the bituminous pavement on the granular base layer, that is newly constructed road, and if we are placing that bituminous construction on the old road, that is the bituminous layer on it, then for this both, what should be the procedure is to be carried out? What are the steps to be carried out that we will see first? The preparation required before the constructing the bituminous pavement layer over the granular base course are given briefly in the following steps. The surface of the granular pavement layer is checked for the defects such as the depression, inadequate cross slopes, etc. And these are rectified. Okay, first, before placing the bituminous surface course, what we have to see, we have to check the road or the base course or the sub-base course for the whether there are the depressions on the road. Okay, means what the undulations of that road are there or not. Whether they have maintained the cross slopes. Okay, because we are now filling the final slopes of the bitumen. So we have to maintain the cross slope. We have to maintain the all the design parameters on the road. The surface is thoroughly cleaned of free dust and the loose material. What if there is a loose material that should be dried out? Okay, whatever the dust it is there on the road, that should be dried out by the brooms. Okay, so surface should be cleaned out. Then the prime coat is applied by spraying the liquid bituminous binder with a low viscosity like the bitumen emulsion of the appropriate grade. Then what is the step to achieve the proper bonding between the base course layer and the whatever the binding bituminous layer that we are placing? To apply the proper bonding between this, we have to apply the prime coat. Okay. After the applying the prime coat, if the after the curing of the primed surface, the tack coat is applied by spraying the liquid bituminous binder of the low viscosity. Prime coat, then the material, then what we have to do for go for the tack coat. Okay, then the surface layer. Okay. So this layer, in this way, the layers should be formed. Prime coat, then the material, then tack coat, then the surface layer. Okay, likewise, we have to go for. The construction of the desired type of the bituminous pavement layer is taken up on this prepared surface soon after the application of the tack. Okay, after the application of the tack coat, what we have to do? We have to go for the construction of the desired type of the bituminous pavement. Okay. Then if there is the bituminous layer already, existing bituminous road it is there, and we have to apply the layer on that bituminous layer. Then at that time, what we have to do? The first step is to existence bituminous surfaces carefully checked to identify the various types of the defects, potholes, different types of the cracks, defects of the surface profile, such as depression, roots, or the inadequate cross slopes. Okay. Before applying the surface layer, what we have to say? We have to carefully observe whatever the defects in the previous bituminous or the existing bituminous layer, whether there are the cracks on the road, whether there are the potholes, okay, if there are the inadequate crop slopes of there, depressions are there, so that we have to minimize and determine, and then only we have to go for the proper solution for that. Okay, so first step is what? We have to maintain, we have to check the carefully the layers of the existing bitumen. Okay, whether there are the potholes, cracks, whether the slope is well or not. Okay, that the primary step that we have to check the layer. Then the potholes are to be patched at the specified. If there are the potholes, okay, then we have to patch it. Then the area with the wide cracks are alligator type of the cracks are cut and removed and the patched. Okay, if there is the crack, then we have to, if there we can fill the crack, then it is okay. We can fill. If we cannot fill, if the material around that crack it is loosened, then what we have to do? We have to break that area. We have to take out that material, and then what we have to do? We have to go for the patch. Okay, that we have to carefully see whether that around that crack, whether the material is loosened or it is good. If it is in the good condition, then we can apply the any crack fill method. Okay, we can apply the any crack fill method to fill that crack. If the material is loosened around that crack, then we will remove that material and go for the patch. The areas with the crack sealing is done on the areas where the fine and the medium cracks are developed. That I have told now. The defects of the surface profile are corrected by the laying the profile corrective course using the suitable type of the bituminous mix. Okay, if the bituminous surface defects are there on the previous or the existing bitumen layer, then what we have to do? We have to go for the corrective uh, corrective method for that defects. Means what? As we have seen now, if the cracks are there, if the minor cracks are there, we will go for the filling of that. If the major cracks are there, we will take out the loosened material, then go for the patch. If the pat holes are there, we'll go for the filling of the pat holes. If the cross slope is not maintained, then we will apply the material so that the slopes to be maintained. Okay. So the defect corrective method should be we have to go for. The surface is thoroughly cleaned by using the mechanical brooms or the brushes. This is necessary. If there is a loose material, if there is a dust particles are there, then what we have to do? We have to take it out by the using mechanical brooms or the brushes. Then what we will do? We will apply the tack coat on that layer. But after the applying the tack coat, as soon as the application of tack coat is there, then what we will do? We will go for the construction of the desired type of the bituminous pavement layer. Okay, as soon as the tack coat is applied, we will go for the construction of the desired type of bituminous pavement layer. Okay. So these are the two general methods for the application of the bituminous surface. Okay, on the coarse base course or on the bituminous existing surface there. Okay. Now we will see the bituminous surface dressing, how to go for the bituminous surface dressing. What is the general features for that? The bituminous surface dressing, that is BSD. BSD means bituminous surface dressing, is provided over the prepared base course or the existing pavement to serve the thin wearing coat. Okay, now what we have done? We have taken the tack coat. Then what we have to do now? The apply of the bituminous surface dressing. Okay. This bituminous surface dressing work is consist of application of the suitable grade of the bitumen. Okay, the emulsion of the spraying over the prepared base course or existing pavement surface, followed by the spreading specific size of hard aggregate as the recommended rate of the rolling. Okay, at the top surface, we will go for the specified application of that thin layer of the bituminous surface. Then we will go for the rolling of that particular layer. Okay, proper rolling should be done by using the roller compactor, by using the pneumatic roller, smooth field roller. Okay. The surface dressing does not add the structural stability or strength to the pavement, nor will improve the existing riding quality of the pavement surface. Okay. If the surface dressing will not give any extra additional strength. Okay. Also, it will not give any extra additional riding comfort. Just it will give the smooth riding to the vehicle. A smooth surface layer it will gives. The bituminous surface dressing is a cost-effective surface treatment to provide a dust-free and impermeable pavement surface. Okay, what we have to do? We have to keep the surface of the road dust-free, as well as the water, whatever is coming, it should not get penetrated into the subgrade. So that purpose, we will apply the bituminous surface layer. So that in the rainy season, what we will do? If the water will not penetrate into the below layer, then the pavement layer will be the safe enough for the longer time. So that purpose only what we will do, bituminous surface dressing is to be applied. Also, it serves a non-skid surface for the comfort riding. Okay. Then now we will see the what are the construction steps for that achieving the surface dressing. The receiving surface on which the surface dressing is to be laid is prepared by the patch holes, filling up the depression, correcting the cross slopes and the compacting. Okay. Now what we will do, we will have to apply the surface dressing. So before applying the surface dressing on the layer on which we are going to apply the surface dressing, that layer should be maintained well in the sense of cross slopes. It should be filled with the patches if the pack holes are there. It should be, if the depressions are there, that should be filled up. Okay, so it should be compacted well before applying the surface dressing. When the paving grades of the bitumen binders are used, the surface dressing work should be taken up during the dry weather. When this is prepared, the surface is dry and the atmospheric pressure is higher than the 16. Also, when we apply the layer of the surface dressing, we should also have to think about the temperature around it. Okay, because the temperature will also affect. So we should have to ensure that temperature should be higher than the 16 degrees Celsius. Okay, when the bitumen is to be applied. But when the bitumen emulsion binder is used, the surface dressing work may be carried out even when the prepared surface is damp, but without free water on the surface. Okay, if suppose the surface is damp, okay, moisture content is there. At that time, we can use the bituminous emulsion. It can be used up to the 10 degrees Celsius, but the temperature should be more than 10 degrees Celsius. If the damp surface is there, we can use the bitumen emulsion. The surface is cleaned with the mechanical brooms and they remove the loose materials. Okay, but to remove the loose materials, to remove the dust, we can use the brooms. If the receiving surface is the granular base layer, then what we have to do, we have to apply the prime coat on that. Okay. Whatever the specified prime coat it is there, we will apply on that. And then neither the prime coat nor the tack coat is to be applied if the surface dressing is laid over the existing bituminous surface. Okay. If we are applying the surface layer on the base course, then we will apply the prime coat, tack coat, etc. If it is laid on the existing bituminous surface layer, then no need to go for applying the tack coat, prime coat, etc. Okay. The bituminous binder of the specified grade is heated to the specified temperature. Okay, because bituminous is the required very much large temperature to be come into the flow. Okay, so that to work with the bitumen, we need to go for the large heating to the bitumen. Okay. And the uniformly spraying using the mechanical sprayer as the specified rate. Okay. Also, we have to apply the material on the surface of the base course by the uniform spray by using the mechanical sprayers after the heating. Immediately after the application of the binder, the selected grade of the surface dressing is sprayed uniformly using the mechanical grade spreader at the specified grade. Immediately after applying the spray, we have to go for the application of the surface dressing there. Okay, whatever the aggregates that are specified. Immediately after applying the bitumen layer, we have to go for the application of the pores that are to be specified. Okay, because the proper bonding will not be maintained if we take too much time for application of the courses. Okay, for application of the whatever the specified the pores aggregates are there. Okay, immediately after applying the bitumen, if we put the pores aggregate, then proper bonding will be there. If we take the too much time to placing the aggregates there, then the proper bonding is not maintained, because the bitumen will hard with the much higher rate. Okay, it will hard suddenly. Then after the placing, what we have to do? We have to go for the compaction of that layer. By using the at least 8 to 10 tons of the smooth wheel roller, we have to go for the compaction. Okay, so that the optimum moisture content as well as the dry density is to be maintained. Then, so whatever the surface finishing it is there, we should have to check for the unevenness. It should be within the tolerance limit, such that if we are using mechanical as well as hand mixing, if there's a spreading of the aggregate, we have to ensure that minimum unevenness should be there within the tolerance limit. Okay, that we have to check for the slopes of the road, cross slopes of the roads, camber, longitudinal slopes. Okay, that all we have to see. Also, we have to check for the thickness. When the paving bitumen is used as a binder, the finished surface may be open to the traffic on the next day. When the inertial binder is used, it is preferred to allow the traffic minimum period of 24 hours. Okay, if the bitumen is used for the finishing surface, we can allow the traffic after the surface is to be finished. Okay, but if we have used the bituminous emulsion, then we have to keep that road for drying for at least 24 hours. Okay, then only we can use to allow the traffic on that road. Then also we have to go for the quality controls. Quality controls tests should be carried out on that road. What are these quality control tests? The sample of aggregate, whatever the sample of aggregate that we have used, that should be tested on the in the laboratory. What test should be carried out? The impact test, then the crushing test, abrasion test. Okay, that test should be carried out on that aggregate. Then only we have to decide whether that aggregate is to be used or not. Then also we have to check the grading of that aggregate. Whatever the grade it is specified, whether that grade it is maintained or not. If the surface dressing is laid over the granular base, rate of application of binder of the prime coat is checked. Okay, we have applied the prime coat. Also, we have to check the the binder of the prime coat, whether it is applied or if it is applied with the what thickness it is applied, that is to be checked. Then selected bituminous binder for the surface dressing work is subjected to the specified laboratory test to assess the quality. Okay, if we are using the binder material, whatever the binder material, suppose bitumen is used, then we have to check the laboratory test for that binder material. What are these tests? We have to check for the elongation of that binder material. Also the flow test. Okay. Also the temperature test on that binder material. Then whether that bitumen is hard or soft, that is softening test, that is to be also carried out on that binding material. Okay. The different tests are there on the binding material, that all tests that have to be carried out on the binding material. Like what the penetration of the bitumen, then the ductility test on the bitumen, softening test on the bitumen, specific gravity, viscosity. Likewise, all the tests that are to be carried out on the bitumen. Okay. Then also the temperature, whether that is maintained or not, that is also to be checked, because bitumen, whenever we are using the bitumen, we have to maintain the temperature to use that bitumen. Then the rate of application of the aggregate cover by the mechanical grid spreader, that is checked. Selected nominal size means what, the whether the rate of the aggregates whatever we are used, that also to be checked, whether that are used with the nominal size, what size that are used, what grade that are used, that also we need to check. And at the last, we need to check the whether the thick, proper dress, whatever the dressing layer it is there, proper thickness it is whether maintained, proper slope, whether it is maintained, how much the undulations are there on that road. It is should be minimum minimum unevenness should be maintained on that road within the tolerance limit. Okay, that is also to be checked before allowing the traffic to on that road. So this is all about the flexible pavement. Up till now, whatever we have decided, this is for the flexible pavement. Okay. Now we will see for the last part, that is the cement concrete pavement. Okay. Up till now, whatever we have decided, up to the sub-base curves, we know in the cement concrete road and flexible concrete road, flexible road and rigid road, what is common? Subgrade layer. Okay, it is common. Sub-base layer, that is also common. In the concrete layer, on the sub-base layer, we will use the dry lean concrete layer and then the main concrete layer. Okay, so these two only are the different layers. That is what dry lean concrete and main concrete layer. Okay, that are only different. But the whatever the remaining portion it is there, that is subgrade and the base sub-base course, that is same procedure. Whatever that is carried out for the flexible pavement, it is carried out for the cement concrete pavement as well. Okay. So the different types of the cement concrete pavements are there. What are these? The plain cement concrete pavement, reinforced cement concrete pavement also we can use. Continuously reinforce the concrete pavement with the elastic joints and the fiber reinforced concrete pavement. Okay, fiber reinforced concrete pavement, we can use the glass fibers there. Why these fibers are used? Because to erase the cracks. If we use the fiber in the concrete, then the minor cracks will not be produced. Okay, to erase the cracks, we will use the fibers there. Okay, to minimize the cracks in the road. But out of all these, the plain concrete, it is the commonly used. Okay. So before starting the step, all the steps, we will see one video to clear idea of how the concrete floors are built.
अब जिद्दी से जिद्दी कंक्रीट रेसिड्यू निकलेंगे बस एक स्प्रे से। पेश करते हैं सीमेंट कंक्रीट रेसिड्यू रिमूवर स्प्रे। इसे यूज करना।
हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू आदित्य सिटी में आप सब लोगों का स्वागत है दोस्तों। यहाँ पे रिजिड पेमेंट पीक्यूसी यानी पेमेंट क्वालिटी कंक्रीट का कंस्ट्रक्शन निर्माण का कार्य चल रहा है। यहाँ पे आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, यहाँ पे एक एक्सकेवेटर है जो कि इस हाईवा में हम लोगों का कंक्रीट का माल आता है। ये M40 हाँ M40 का कंक्रीट है। यहाँ पे इसका स्लम कितना होना चाहिए?
15 से 25 होना चाहिए।
15 से 25 का स्लम्प होना चाहिए। और इसका टेम्परेचर कितना होना चाहिए? 27 से ±2 चल सकता है। तो इसका इतना कंक्रीट का टेम्परेचर होना चाहिए। और जो उसका स्लम्प है 15 से 25 में होना चाहिए, ताकि जब ये यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, ये जो ये मैं जहाँ पे झूम कर रहा हूँ इसको प्लाव बोलते हैं। ये मूवेबल है, इस एंड से इस एंड तक जाता है और इस माल को फैलाता है और बहुत सारा काम इस एक्सकेवेटर से हो जाता है और बचा हुआ है 20% काम ये प्लाव कर देता है। आप यहाँ अरेंजमेंट देख सकते हैं, रोप लगे हुए हैं और यहाँ से वहाँ ये घूमता है। ये रिटर्जन का पेवर है और इसको पीक्यूसी पेवर कहते हैं। चलिए जानते पीछे इसका फिनिशिंग वगैरह कैसा आता है। ये नीचे में पॉलीथीन डाली जाती है, किसके लिए डाली जाती है?
मेम्ब्रेन शीट होती है जो डीएलसी और पीक्यूसी की दोनों लेयर को अलग सेपरेट करने के लिए यूज़ करते हैं।
हाँ, ये सेपरेशन मेंबर है ताकि दोनों सेपरेट हो जाए, डीएलसी और पीक्यूसी। इसके नीचे जो किया जाता है उसे ड्राई लीन कंक्रीट कहते हैं, जिसका नाम है डीएलसी, जिसका थिकनेस 150 mm होता है। उसके नीचे जीएस भी होता है जो भी 150 mm होता है। चलिए पीछे जानते हैं और क्या होता है। ये आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, ये सेंसर लगा हुआ है, इसमें एडजस्टमेंट स्क्रू वगैरह दिए रहते हैं और ये वायर रोप, ये जो वायर आपको दिख रही होंगी यहाँ छोटी सी, इस वायर रोप के ऊपर सेंस करते हुए चलता है। हम लोग यहाँ पे ये पेग लगे हुए हैं, ये पेग 10-10 मीटर पे लगाए जाते हैं और इसके ऊपर लेवल दी जाती है और उसके ऊपर ये सेंसर चलता है जो कि यहाँ की लेवल रहेगी। और आप यहाँ अंदर देख सकते हैं मैकेनिज्म बना हुआ है जो कि अभी मूव हो रहा है। ये डॉवल बार इंसर्टर है। डॉवल बार यानी एक रॉड होता है
36
mm का रॉड होता है,
500 mm लेंथ का, जो कि 2 पैनल्स को, 2 स्लैब को लोड ट्रांसफर करने के लिए यूज होता है।
आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं मैकेनिज्म, ये घूमता है, इसके अंदर डॉवल बार, इसके अंदर डॉवल बार फिक्स होके आता है, देख सकते हैं इसमें। और ये इसमें इसी से ये जो सामने जो दिख रहे हैं ये वाले से, ये जो दिख रहा है आपको, इससे ये अंदर इंसर्ट की जाएंगे। इसका कितना डेप्थ इंसर्ट की जाती है? 150 mm इंसर्ट की जाती है, यानी सेंटर पे इंसर्ट किया जाता है।
थिकनेस 300 है तो 150 mm।
ये पीक्यूसी का थिकनेस 300 mm है, इसके लिए सेंटर पे यानी 150 mm पे जाता है। यहाँ पे आप दिख रहे हैं, इसमें सेंटर में ये टाई बार इंसर्टर है, इसके अंदर से ऊपर टाई बार रखे जाते हैं और ये जो मशीन है यहाँ पे जो मैंने बताया ये इंसर्ट करते जाता है। कितने मीटर पे इंसर्ट करता है?
0.45 मीटर के इंटरवल पे।
0.45 मीटर, यानी ये 400 mm पे इंसर्ट करता है, हर 450 mm पे। आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं कि ये एक सेंसर है, आगे एक सेंसर है और ऐसे ही लेफ्ट और राइट 2-2 सेंसर होते हैं, यानी टोटल 4 सेंसर लगे होते हैं ताकि जो एक्यूरेसी वो पूरी बढ़ जाए। आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं कंपैक्शन के लिए यहाँ पे ये जो आपको एक रबड़ का पाइप जैसा दिख रहा है, ये सारे वाइब्रेटर्स लगे हुए हैं जो कि इसी के अंदर फिक्स होते हैं। और आपको आवाज़ आ रही है, ये इसका ट्रैक माउंटेड रहता है, इसमें आपको हाइड्रोलिक के ऊपर नीचे हो सकता है। ये देख रहे हैं यहाँ पे ये जो है ये जो है आपको ये सारे वाइब्रेटर्स लगे हुए हैं। देखिए कैसे हिलता है, इसको क्या बोलते हैं?
ऑसिलेटिंग बीम।
ऑसिलेटिंग बीम। ये ऑसिलेटिंग बीम में ये लेवल करते चलता है। और ये मार्क देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे टाई बार डॉवल बार इंसर्ट हो चुके हैं। एक साथ कितने डॉवल बार इंसर्ट होते हैं? 23 एक ही बार में सब डॉवल बार इंसर्ट होते हैं। कितने डिस्टेंस पे होते हैं?
0.4 मीटर।
0.4 मीटर यानी 400 mm पे ये इंसर्ट हो जाते हैं और हर डॉयल बार 450 mm पे इंसर्ट होता है। आपने जो देखा डॉयल बार, जो कि ये जो विड्थ आपको दिख रही है पूरी, ये विड्थ में इंसर्ट होते हैं और जो टाई बार इंसर्ट होते हैं वो उसके लेंथ में इंसर्ट होते हैं और दोनों का फंक्शन अलग अलग है। जो डॉयल बार है वो ट्रैफिक के डायरेक्शन में जो लोड ट्रांसफ़र करने के लिए होता है, एक पैनल से 2 पैनल। अभी ये तो आपको सारे पैनल एक ही दिख रहा है, पूरा यही कहीं कट नहीं है, लेकिन हम लोग पीछे देखेंगे इनिशियल कट किया जाता है और उसके बाद उसको फाइनल कटिंग करके उसके अंदर सीलेंट भरा जाता है। वो भी मैंने सीलेंट के ऊपर एक वीडियो बना के डाला है, आप वो भी लिंक में देख सकते हैं। और ये फ्लोटर है, स्मूथर है ना, ये स्मूथर है, इसको स्मूथ करता है पूरा और पूरा इसको लेवल करता है। इनिशियली पूरा इसका लेवल हो जाता है। आपने वाइब्रेटर्स देखा, आगे वाइब्रेटर्स इसको वाइब्रेशन करके पूरा सेट कर देते हैं, जो भी इसके अंदर के एयर वाइट से पूरे निकाल देते हैं। तो ये पूरा मैकेनिज्म यहाँ देख सकते हैं।
This is how fast YouTube is with Brave. Notice how there's no pre-roll ads? And here's how you can see how much time you save with Brave.
देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे ये सारी फंक्शन है, ये पूरा पीक्यूसी पे और इसके अंदर ये पूरा फिक्स है, लाइटिंग अरेंजमेंट होता है। और ये सुबह के 6:30 बजे का समय है और ये समय टेम्परेचर भी काफ़ी डाउन है और ये पीक्यूसी किया जाता है। पूरा टेम्परेचर इसके में लो चाहिए, सूरज के रोशनी में ये नहीं किया जाता है। टेम्परेचर की वजह से पीक्यूसी को हार्म होते, क्रैक्स आते, इसके लिए हम इसको मेंटेन करते हैं। और ये कंक्रीट का टेम्परेचर मेंटेन करने के लिए हम जहाँ प्लांट लगा होता है वहाँ पे चिलिंग प्लांट लगाते हैं, वहाँ से हम लोग उसको जो कंक्रीट में पानी मिलाया जाता है वो बिल्कुल ठंडा चिल्ड पानी मिलाया जाता है ताकि साइड तक आने तक उसका टेम्परेचर ना बढ़े। बहुत सारी केयरिंग ली जाती है। आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं हल्का पानी का छींटे मारी जा रही है ताकि इसका फिनिशिंग स्मूथ आए और अच्छे से बने। ये जो एजेस है ये एजेस भी वर्टिकल होनी चाहिए। इसको साइड से मेंटेन की जाती है। साइड में प्लेटें लगी रहती है। इस प्लेट को क्या बोलते हैं? स्लिप फॉर्म प्लेट कहते हैं इसको। और ये प्लेट इसका वर्टिकलिटी बनाने के लिए यूज़ की जाती है। और जो कुछ कमी बचती है तो हम इसको मैन्युअली यहाँ पे पीछे मेसन लगे रहते हैं। ये मेसन ट्रॉली है। इसमें कुछ डिफेक्ट्स आएंगे या फिनिशिंग करना है तो ये छोटे छोटे टूल्स रहते हैं इसके साथ में। इस टूल्स के साथ उसको फिनिशिंग किया जाता है। ये किसके लिए लगाया जाता है? मॉइस्चर हटाने के लिए?
नहीं,
फिर
ये जस्ट जो हमारा स्टील प्लानर का जो मार्किंग होता है वो मार्किंग को प्लान करने के लिए।
कौन सा स्टील प्लानर?
ये जो वुडन प्लानर है स्टील प्लानर जिससे हम वो वाइट्स को क्लियर करते हैं, सरफेस
अच्छा।
में फिनिशिंग देते हैं, उसमें और फिनिशिंग आ जाती है।
अच्छा, ये देख लीजिए आप, इसके लिए लगाया जाता है। और हमारे साथ है हिमांशु जी जिन्होंने हमें ये सारी पूरी जानकारी दी है। यहाँ पे आपको लेके चलते हैं। ये पीछे एक जो मशीन रखी है टेक्सचरिंग करने के लिए, टेक्सचरिंग मशीन, और उसमें क्यूरिंग भी किया जाता है। चलिए देखते हैं इसमें किस तरह से किया जाता है। अलकेत जी से बात करते हैं। और दोस्तों आप देख सकते हैं ये जो डब्बे रखे हैं इसमें एडमिक्सचर है ताकि ये हर कुछ क्यूरिंग कंपाउंड है। ये सॉरी ये कुछ इंटरवल पे रखा जाता है ताकि जो क्यूरिंग करना है वो प्रॉपरली किया जाए। उसके बाद इसको इमीडिएटली जब इसका टेक्सचरिंग हो जाएगा तो इसको यहाँ पे गनी बैग्स दिख रहे हैं आपको, ये पूरे अरेंज किए जाते हैं। इसके पूरे साथ बहुत सारा सेटअप रहता है, उस सेटअप को लेके चलना पड़ता है। और ये इसको पूरा अरेंजमेंट पहले से करके यहाँ रखा जाता है ताकि कोई दिक्कत ना आए और क्वालिटी में कोई कंप्रोमाइज़ ना किया जाए। ये आप देख सकते हैं इसका फिनिश ऑफ रोड जो लेवल है कितना बेहतरीन मेंटेन किया गया है। और जो थिकनेस है वो भी प्रॉपरली 300 mm मेंटेन की गई है। ये ऑटो लेवल से पूरे ऑटो लेवल चेक किए जाते हैं। और आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं कितने बढ़िया से इसका केम्बर भी मेंटेन किया गया है। ये तो बहुत ही अच्छा बेहतरीन क्वालिटी का यहाँ क्वालिटी ऑफ वर्क चल रहा है।
1.25 mm के बीच होता है।
आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये टेक्सचरिंग किया गया है। और ये टेक्सचरिंग देख सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे, किसी में विड्थ कम है, किसी में विड्थ ज़्यादा है। ये वैसे उसको मेंटेन किया गया है, उसको वैसे ही करना है। अगर ये इक्वली कर दिए जाएंगे तो जो फ्रिक्शन क्रिएट होगा टायर है जब चलेगी इसके रोड गाड़ी की टायर है तो एक जैसा फोर्स क्रिएट हो जाएगा, रिपल्शन जो बोलते हैं उसके अंदर। तो इसके लिए उसको डिस्ट्रॉय करने के लिए अनइवन किया जाता है। उसको फ्रीक्वेंसी उसकी चेंज हो जाती है। देख सकते हैं आप इसको बहुत ही बढ़िया से टेक्सचरिंग किया जाता है ताकि जो गाड़ी जब चले तो स्मूथली इसको पकड़ के टायर चले। ये सारा आप देख सकते हैं। और ये सेटअप यहाँ पे आप, ये है टेक्सचरिंग मशीन। इसमें ट्रैक माउंटेड है चारों साइड और इसके अंदर पूरा क्यूरिंग भी भरा जाता है। क्यूरिंग और ये दोनों काम एक साथ किए जाते हैं। आप इसको देख सकते हैं। ये अभी कंप्लीट हो चुका है। आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये जो यहाँ पे ये बाहर निकला हुआ है इसके अंदर में स्प्रेयर है। और यहाँ पे आप ये देख सकते हैं चल रहा है अभी। ये जो है इससे इसको घुमाया जाता है इसके ऊपर और इसी से टेक्सचरिंग की जाती है। आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं। और इससे देखिए आप क्यूरिंग, ये देख सकते हैं आप यहाँ पे बढ़िया से क्यूरिंग इसके ऊपर स्प्रेड किया जा रहा है। क्यूरिंग है ना, क्यूरिंग कंपाउंड कहते हैं इसे। दोस्तों आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये वाटर है और इसको स्प्रिंकलिंग करके इसके ऊपर डाला जा रहा है और इसके ऊपर मॉइस्चर बनाया जा रहा है। इसको कोई भी इसके अंदर क्रैक्स डेवलप ना हो इसलिए ये सारी किया जा रहा है। और जैसे ही हम लोग इसको स्प्रिंकलिंग अभी ख़त्म हो जाएगा इमीडिएटली इसके ऊपर हम लोग अभी गनी बैग्स बिछाना चालू कर देंगे और उसके ऊपर पूरा पानी मार के इसको पूरा गीला करके भिगो के रख देंगे ताकि इसके अंदर का जो ह्यूमिडिटी है वो मेंटेन रहे और इसके अंदर कोई भी क्रैक्स नहीं आए। आप देख सकते हैं कितना बेहतरीन फिनिश है यहाँ पे। और यहाँ पे ये कार्य अभी ख़त्म हो चुका है लगभग, और अभी ये क्यूरिंग प्रोसेस करेंगे और उसके बाद इनिशियल कट का प्रोसेस चालू हो जाएगा। आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं ये कटिंग मशीन भी यहाँ पे रखी है, इनिशियल कटिंग मशीन की। तो दोस्तों यहाँ पे कुछ चीज़ें, बहुत सारी चीज़ें छूटी होंगी। अगर आपको ऐसा लगता है कि हमें और कोई जानकारी चाहिए तो आप इस वीडियो के कमेंट सेक्शन में आप कमेंट कर सकते हैं और पूछ सकते हैं आपकी कोई क्यूरी रहेगी तो। और कोई गलती हुई होंगी, कोई टेक्निकली एरर्स मैंने बताए होंगे तो आप उसे माफ़ कर दीजिए। और इस वीडियो को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर करिए। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
All the parts are nicely explained here. The only thing, the cutting, how the cuttings of the roads are done, that is only remained in that video that we will also see.
Come on, controller, you can't quit now. These will power you on until you've unlocked every character in that new game I cannot mention for legal reasons.
See how the cutting in the road it is done for the regular interval to form a joints. You can see. Why this cutting is done? This cutting is done on the road to obtain the proper contraction, transverse, longitudinal joints. Okay, to make the joints. Why the joints are made? For the easy expansion and the contraction of the pyramid. Okay, so that purpose the cutting is need to be done. See how the cutting it is done on the road. For achieving the proper joints, the cutting is required to be done on the pyramid so that the proper expansion and the contraction of the road will be done. Then also in that cutting, the sealant material is also filled. Okay, and how it is filled, we'll see. The blower is, by the using the blower, the dust is cleared first. So see here, by using the air compressor or the blower, what we will do, whatever the dust that is filled into the grooves, that whatever that is cut now, that dust should be taken out. Okay, the dust particles, small particles that are there in the gaps, that should be cleared. So that air compressors are to be used, that is the blower are to be used, so that the joint should be clear before applying the sealant material. Okay, so these are the sealants that are used to in the joints. Okay, so that
99% of businesses.
the fund, if the joint should not be filled with the aggregates or etc. due to the traffic, the dust should not be going to that joint. Okay, so that purpose, the good sealants are to be introduced in that road. Also, we'll see one more video for the proper understanding.
Hello
How
friends,
to
welcome to my channel Civil Engineering Forum.
what is
Today
the
we are going to
concrete
see
pyramids.
construction of a rigid pavement and also going to talk about its joints in detail. Rigid pavements are generally made up of Portland cement concrete and therefore called CC pavements. These pavements have very low flexural strength or flexural rigidity as they act like a slab and transfer the load to its below layers as slabs. This particular pavement, as seen, is under construction and currently in its curing stage. And as seen over here, these reinforcement bars are known as dowel bars, and similarly we are going to study each and every type of joints and reinforcements in detail. So at first we will go through the types of joint. Basically joints are divided into two types, that is longitudinal joints and transverse joints. Again, transverse joints are subdivided into three types, namely expansion joint, contraction joint and construction joint. Now at first we will understand all these joints in detail. The joint provided in longitudinal direction as seen here is known as longitudinal joint. When any dimension of this pavement exceeds 4.5 meter, shrinkage cracks generally develop in the pavements supported on the base course during the initial period of curing. And so, in pavements of width more than 4.5 meter, there is a need to provide a longitudinal joint. However, as the lane width of the highway pavement is generally 3.5 to 3.75 meter, longitudinal joints of CC pavements are provided between each traffic lane. These joints function to prevent the development of additional shrinkage in the longitudinal direction and prevents warping stress. That is, due to moisture and wheel load, there may be a slight change in the shape of the pavement. This stress may be relieved, and it also may be used as pavement markings. And to prevent the opening of this joint, tie bars are provided as seen here. Now we will see the transverse joints. Transverse joints are provided in direction perpendicular to that of the longitudinal joints. And as we saw, it is subdivided into three types: contraction joints, expansion joints and construction joints. At first we will go through contraction joints. These joints are provided at maximum of 4 meter intervals so that the shrinkage cracks develop along the predetermined sections only. That is, we are making a predetermined weakened plane. A considerable part of the load will get transferred across the contraction joint due to the interlocking effect across the fine shrinkage crack, provided these cracks do not get widened in due to the course. In order to prevent the widening of these fine shrinkage cracks, steel reinforcement may be provided across the contraction joints. If these contraction joints are formed without inserting steel reinforcement rods during the construction, the pavement is called plain jointed concrete pavement. Next we will see expansion joints. Due to temperature variations, there are changes in the length of the pavement in longitudinal direction, and to control this, we need to provide expansion joints in transverse direction at the end of every bay of 20 mm gap. To strengthen these joints and for load transfer, we need to provide dowel bars during construction as shown here. And the last is construction joints. During the construction of the rigid pavements, if the concreting work is stopped at the end of the day or suspended due to any other reason, a construction joint is formed. As the construction joints are formed as through joints across the full depth of the slab, it is necessary to provide suitable designed dowel bars for load transfer as seen here. In this figure, the left two are contraction joints in the middle of the bay, and on the right hand side at the end of the bay there is expansion joint. Along with this, the dowel bars are provided in this manner for the particular joint. And at last, we will see its methods of construction. The first is alternate bay method. In this method of construction, bays or slabs are constructed in alternate successions, leaving the intermediate bays as shown here. These intermediate bays are constructed after a gap of at least 1 week if ordinary Portland cement is used, and 2 days in case when rapid hardening cement is used. This pavement is practicable and found useful when the proposed width of the pavement is more than 4.5 meter. Then second method is continuous construction method. In this method of construction, all the bays of strip are constructed continuously without any break as shown here. In this method, construction joints are however provided when the day's work is not ended at the specified joint. This method is generally preferred as compared to the alternate bay method because of its main advantage of construction of half of the pavement width at a time. Thus, the essential traffic can be diverted on the other half of the road. So friends, this is all for today. If this video was useful for you, do like and subscribe my channel Civil Engineering Forum. Thank you for watching.
Okay, so by these videos, we have the clear picturized idea. So how the concrete roads are constructed. Okay. So we will see now the stepwise procedure. Now we have seen how the practically it is done, but we should also know what are the steps that are given by the IRC, suggested by the IRC. What are the quality controls that are to be suggested by the IRC? That also we should know. So we will see now. The cement concrete pavement structure, majorly highway catering for the heavy traffic loads, consists of the following components from the bottom towards the top. Okay, what are these layers? First is the soil subgrade that we have covered how the subgrade layers is to be constructed. Then the drainage layer, that is subbase layer, how it is to be constructed. The subbase course generally constructed using the leave cement concrete. Okay, here instead of providing the base course in the flexible pavement, here in the cement concrete pavement, we have provided the lean cement concrete layer. Okay, that is also called as dry lean concrete, that is DLC. You might have heard on the construction of the road, DLC is provided. What is meant by that DLC? That is dry lean concrete. The separation membrane laid on the top of the concrete subbase course and the cement concrete pavement slab using the pavement quality concrete, that is PQC. Okay, DLC and PQC. These are two important words. DLC, dry lean concrete. Over that, the separation layer of the 125 micron polythene sheet is placed. Then on that, PQC is done. That is paving quality concrete. Okay, so these are the important two layers that we need to study in this cement concrete pavements. Then the construction of the different types of the joints that we have seen now in the video. The different contraction, then the transverse joints, longitudinal joints, contraction. In the transfer, there are three types again: the contraction, expansion, and the construction joints. How they are done, that we have seen now. Okay, so we will see now. For the construction of the subgrade, the steps that we know, but as per the IRC has suggested what? The cement concrete pavement of the highway subgrade shall consist of the coarse grained soil having the minimum CBR value of 8%. Okay, and the 500 mm thickness of the compaction should be maintained. As per the IRC, whenever we are using the subgrade soil, we have to maintain the at least 8% of the CBR value and the 500 mm of thickness of subgrade soil. Then the cross slope to be provided while finishing the top subgrade shall be conformity with the specified cross slope of the cement. Okay, also the cross slope should be maintained at that subgrade level as well. Also the whatever the tolerance limits for the surface level are there, the tolerance limits should be up to the +20 to the -25 mm. Within that tolerance surface level should be maintained. Okay, means whatever the surface level it is there, it should be within the tolerance, that is +20 mm to the -25 mm. This is for the subgrade. Then whatever the drainage layer that we construct, the details of the materials and the methods of construction of the drainage layers have been discussed in the earlier, that is in the flexible pavement. The drainage layer, whatever there we have laid, that is prepared subgrade. However, it's keeping the view of desired long life of the cement. What is the motto of the providing drainage layer here? In the flexible pavement, it carries the load, transfers the load to the subgrade. But here the main role of the drainage layer in the cement concrete road is to increase the life period of the cement concrete by providing the proper drainage system. Okay, so that the water should be flushed out. If the water table is high, the suitable cutoff gallery should be capillary should be provided. Okay, if the water table it is at the higher altitude, then what we have to do? We have to provide the capillary cutoff so that the drainage layer shall be extended, and then whatever the drainage layer that we have provided, that should be extended up to the width. That means what? It should be continued up to the drainage that is provided on the both sides. If provided on the both sides, that is should be continued up to the drains. Okay. The top surface of the drainage layer or the lower subbase shall also be conformity with the specified cross slope of the CC pavement. Also, whenever we are providing the drainage layer, that also maintained with the slope. Okay, whatever the camber it is designed, that should be maintained on the drainage layer also, and as well as the whatever the surface layer it is there, that is also should be properly maintained with the permissible tolerance limits of the plus or minus 10 mm. Okay, for the drainage layer, plus or minus 10 mm permissible tolerance is allowed. Then the construction of the dry limb concrete subbase course. Okay, so these two are important now. Construction of the dry limb concrete layer and the construction of the QC layer. So in the DLC, whatever it is provided, the lead cement concrete subbase layer below the cement concrete pavement slab has been found have the several advantages. Which are these? The firm and the uniform structural support, the high resistance to the deformation, the prevention of the failure due to the pumping of the dry limb concrete. The pumping may be there from the whatever the joints that are provided. That is also to be prevented because the dry limb concrete layer will not allow the water to flow or the pumping. The most common type of the cement treated subbase course laid over the drainage layer. The recommended thickness of the DLC subbase course is important highway is 150 as we have seen now in the video. The DLC that is maintained of the 150 mm thickness that it is given in that video. Okay. The DLC thickness it is maintained as 150 mm. If that road is of the very low volume, then at least we have to maintain minimum 100 mm thickness. Okay, but generally 150 mm thickness of the DLC is required or recommended. IRC recommends the DLC subbase shall extend 500 mm beyond the edges of the cement concrete pavement. Okay, whatever the width that is desired for the PQC, that is quality cement layer. Okay, beyond that layer, at least 500 mm should be extended by the DLC. Okay, this is the recommendation that is given by the IRC. Okay, IRC recommends that the DLC subbase layer should be extended up to the 500 mm beyond the edges of the cement concrete pavement. Okay, when whatever the cement that we are using in the DLC, it should give the average compressive strength of the 7 days of 100 kg per centimeter square. Okay, whatever the cement, concrete or the cement we are using in the DLC, it should give 100 kg per centimeter square strength in the 7 days. That we have to check. Okay. Also, what the cement that we are using here, that cement should have the minimum 150 kg per meter of the concrete. Okay, whatever the cement that we are using, that should have minimum 150 kg per meter cube. Proportion of the components of the DLC and mixing are done in the central batching and mixing plant. Okay, whatever the proportions that are designed for the DLC, that are maintained in the central batching plant, they are mixed there and then transported on the road. The mix, discharge and the transported to the construction site, cover the tipple trucks. Okay, it is transported by using the trucks. Okay, we have seen into the video the trucks or the high walls that are used to transport the DLC PQC. Okay. The DLC is laid to the desired grade and the slope with the pure. The compaction shall be carried out immediately after the concrete mix is laid and is leveled by the pure. Okay. After the immediately application of the DLC, the compaction should be carried out. The double drum type of the smooth wheel vibratory rollers or the static weight of 8 to 10 tons are used for the compaction. Okay. For the compaction of the DLC, what we will use? We have to use the vibratory rollers of the static load of 8 to 10 tons. And also, whenever while doing the compaction, we should achieve the 97% of the dry density. Okay, that much the maximum density should be achieved on that site. Then the surface of the DLC layer is inspected soon after the completion of the final rolling. Okay, after the rolling, we have to confirm whether the DLC layer surface is good or not for the applying of the PQC. Okay. Also, we have to see the tolerance limits for the surface layer. Leveling of the surface layer should be done with the +6 or -15 mm of the tolerance limit. That is to be achieved on the DLC layer. Then the curing is also important as we are using cement concrete here. The curing is also important for the DLC. The curing is done by spraying the liquid or the curing compound immediately after the rolling. As we have seen, the curing compound is applied, then sprayed by the water, or we can use the gunny bag, we can use the ponding. Okay, there are different methods for the curing. Okay, we can spray water by the pipe, we can use the gunny bag. Okay, we can use the ponding method for the curing, or we can use the any curing membrane is to be added. Okay, so curing is also important and that is to be carried out. Then after the curing of the particular days of the DLC layer, what we have to do? We have to apply the separation member, that is sheet that we have seen into the video. One sheet it is applied on the DLC. After that, the PQC will be placed. Okay, so separation membrane should be laid after the DLC, which is of the 125 micron size of the PUC thin sheet. Okay, 125 micron PUC sheet, it is provided as the separation member. Why this separation member is provided? So that whatever the separation between DLC and the PQC is there, it is to be maintained. The water quality should be maintained in the particular that both layers. Okay, for the proper curing is to be maintained, it is provided. Okay. Then the surface of the DLC is thoroughly cleaned and the free grit and the dust. Okay, before applying the separation layer, we should ensure that whatever the surface of the DLC is there, it should be free from the grits, free from the dust. Okay. During the hot weather, the surface of the DLC may be wetted with the water before laying the membrane. If there is a hot area, hot weather condition is there, then at that time we can apply the water, or we can spread the water on the DLC, and after that we can apply the separation member. The separation member is laid flat with the minimum creases and the wrinkles. Make sure that the wrinkles should not be formed. Okay. And whenever we are applying the separation member, it should be applied such that, suppose this is the first layer that we have applied, so that the second layer should be applied such that the at least 300 mm should be the overlap. Okay. 300 mm overlap should be maintained whenever I am applying the second layer on that. Okay, such that the separation member is to be applied. Okay, this is to be also followed. Then the construction of the cement concrete pavement slab. What is the construction methods? It is listed here. Spreading the prepared concrete mix desired thickness, grade cross profile, compacting, finishing, texturing, curing, and the cutting. Okay, so this is the common procedure. After applying the separation layer, we have to spread the concrete. We have to maintain the uniform thickness. We have to compact it. Then the finish the surface. Proper texture is to be maintained by the leveling the surfaces. Okay, then proper curing is to be carried out, and after the curing, cutting is to be done for the required joints, contraction joint, construction joint, and the elongation, that is the expansion joint. Sorry, that proper joints are to be maintained by the proper cutting of that. So this is the common procedure is to be followed. And what are the quality controls that are maintained on the cement concrete pavement? So what are the quality controls? The sample of the coarse aggregate collected for the preparation of cement concrete mix are subjected to the specified test in the laboratory. Okay, whatever the sample, cement concrete sample that we are using here, that should be tested in the laboratory. Whatever the load carrying capacity, slenderness ratio, okay, the workability, split tensile test, okay, all such tests should be carried out on that sample. The grading of the coarse aggregate and fine aggregate for the PQC is mixed, is checked and compared with the specified gradation. Okay. According to the required grade that is to be achieved on the surface, on the side, the grading of the coarse and fine aggregate should be carried out. How much the coarse aggregate should be used, how much the fine aggregate should be used, that is depend on the what grade of the concrete that are used. Depending on that, mixed design is to be followed, and by that we should have to use how much coarse aggregate and fine aggregate are to be used. Then the sample of the fresh cement concrete mix are collected. Okay, after the application of the cement concrete pavement, the fresh cement concrete samples are collected. By that sample, we have to cast the cubes of the standard sizes 150 mm by 150 mm, that is 15 centimeter by 15 centimeter cube. That is to be casted. Also, beams are to be casted, and that should be tested for the different periods, that is 7 days, 14 days, 28 days of the curing period. Then the whatever the strain that we get, that is to be compared for the acceptance criteria. Okay, whatever the limits are designed for that particular concrete, for that particular grade of that concrete, that limit should be achieved. Okay. The workability of the cement concrete mix is checked before the starting of the pavement. Okay. The workability is also needs to be checked before the application of the cement concrete. And now we have seen in that video, M45 concrete is used. M40 or M45 concrete is used. And for that, how much workability they have maintained? The slump, by using slump one, 15 to 25 mm. Okay, the workability is maintained 15 to 25 mm. After the cement concrete pavement is laid and compacted, the sides of the slabs are checked, fine honeycomb surface. Such surfaces are finished with the cement. Okay. After the application of the cement concrete, we are finishing the surface, as well as whatever the sides of the concrete are there, that is also to be checked whether the honeycombing structures are to be there. If it is there, then it is to be finished properly. If it is not, then no problem. It is okay. So in all the respects, we need to check that road. Then regularity of the finished pavement surface is checked with a straight edge of 6 to 12 hours after the laying. The minimum permissible number of irregularities 4 mm and 7 mm. In the 300 meter stretch are 20 and 2 respectively. Okay. After the finishing is to be done, we have to check the surface leveling. Okay. Within the permissible tolerance limit, the surface should be leveled. Okay. After the cement concrete pavement slab is cured for the 7 days, core samples are to be taken. Okay. After the 7 days of the curing, we need to check the core samples. Okay. What is meant by taking the cores? We need to drill the hole by using the core cutter. You might have observed the core cutter of the specified diameter are there with a circular shape, that we need to take a cut into the pavement after the curing. And by taking that cut, we need to check that sample. The texture, grading, compaction, surface texture, finishing, all such parameters that are whatever that are observed in the laboratory by that core cutting samples. Okay, all the tests on that samples are to be carried out. Whether the voids are there, how the texture is there, how the smoothing of the surfaces, how the grading of the aggregates are there for the different layer. Okay, that is to be checked by taking the core cut into the pavement. Then the presence of the different types of the cracks, their locations are to be recorded. Means what? What if after the filling, if the cracks are there, we need to check whether the cracks are within the permissible limit. Okay. After initial construction, the minor cracks are there. If they are there, we need to check it and also go for the recovering of that. Okay. Then the last term is the opening to traffic after the construction. Now the construction is over, clearing period is over, the joints are also done. Now the road is ready to use for the traffic. Okay, now we are opening the road for the traffic. Before opening the road for the traffic, the pavement surface shall be checked thoroughly. It is to be cleaned. The joints should be checked, and the locations where the joints sealing is not satisfactory shall be properly sealed. Okay, before the road is allowed for the traffic, it should be cleaned. The joints should be properly checked whether they are sealed with the sealants. If not satisfactory sealed, seal it again with the sealant. The entire surface of newly laid pavement is carefully examined to find whether the fine cracks are have developed on the surface and the non-uniform settlement of the cement slab has taken place nearby the bridge abutments or along the high embankment. Okay, so we need to check the fine cracks whether they are there or if there is a slight settlements in the pavement. That is also to be observed. If it is noticed, proper remedies to be taken. If it is not, then it is okay. It is open for the traffic. A newly constructed cement concrete pavement stretch shall be open to the traffic only after the minimum curing period of 28 days. Okay, we have to give the minimum curing of 28 days for the cement concrete road. Then and then only we can allow that road for the traffic. But in the flex zero pavement, in the next day only we can allow it. Okay, but in the cement concrete road, we have to go for at least 28 days of the curing. Then and then only we can allow that road for the traffic. Okay. So this is the end of our this chapter. Okay, that we have covered all the layers in the highway construction steps, quality control tests for the granular subbase cores, waterborne macadam, wet mist macadam, bituminous pavement, and the cement concrete pavement. Okay, that all the points that we have covered in this chapter. Stepwise, we have seen how it is to be constructed each and every layer, how the quality control checks are to be carried out in the regular interval. Okay, so we will stop here. The next topic will start in the next lecture with the fresh mind. Okay, we will stop here only. You can mark your attendance to the chat box, then you can left. Mark your attendance to the chat box, then you can left. Mark your attendance in the lecture. Everyone attendance mark करा.